Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 143 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we've got a great show in store for you today. We've got some amazing houses. The first one's going to be in far north Dallas, and the second one will be in Casa Linda, adjacent.
Adjacent, yes.
That's the key word in the
Yes.
second half.
The second half, we're going to talk about the Swiss Avenue Historic District.
Which is really interesting, and Jeff did a lot of research on this, and so I think you're really going to enjoy finding out who some of the very first residents are. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
And you'll know almost all of them. Well, not all of them, but you'll know quite a few of them.
You'll recognize names for sure.
Absolutely. And this is an amazing August. Can't believe it's August. The weather is surprisingly, I think the high today at 4 o'clock will be 90 degrees, which is really uncharacteristic for Dallas for many reasons.
That is super rare. And, you know, it's that time of the year where we usually get like closed inside with 100+ degree weather. And, you know, this year it's just nice. It's nice. You can get out and ride a bike. You can get out and walk.
It is so different. And the interesting thing too that we've seen kind of in the market, just kind of based on like the office meeting, open houses that were had this weekend, the traffic out and about has slowed down a little bit.
It has. It
I
has.
think that
It was really interesting that even our Realtor Association, Metrotex, had one of the weekly articles that came out this week that talked about has the market begun to slow a bit? And what they were looking at was the number of contracts that were being executed and the status being changed in MLS, which leads us right into Market Watch.
way to go, Ben. Nice transition.
Perfect. So you can see that the listings have slowed down just a little bit. The left column there is last week's numbers, and the right column is this week. A couple of hundred less listings that came in, 100 or 50-ish or so more that came back on the market. I thought this next one is really very telling. That the price decrease, there has been about a 20% increase in the number of houses that have reduced the price. The next one's always really interesting to me is the price increases. And usually what we see happen with those, it's where builders have a, price A on their property when they first put it in MLS before the dirt's even turned. And then as they track the market and the price of that house tends to go up, a lot of times builders raise prices on them. Fewer houses, about 10% fewer houses went under contract into the option period. About the same amount came out of the option period. There were about 10% less pendings last week. And then the 3,600 solds that you see there are very indicative of the end of the month.
Correct.
So a lot of transactions close toward the end of the month, just trying to save the buyer a little bit of interest out of pocket when they close. So we'll always see that number sway a little bit as we begin reporting about the last week of the month. And then coming soon slowed down a little bit, just a minute amount down to about 493.
And I think what we see so much in this market, and a market that is as brisk as this is that houses that sell and go under contract are typically going under contract probably within the first 10 days on the market, 14 days on the market. And so when houses go past that, sellers usually, with the advice of agents, go ahead and do a quick price reduction just to kind of get back into the zone where they think. Everybody wants to make sure they didn't leave any money on the table, and we totally understand that. And that's why we see this number increase, what was it, 1,552 to 1,800 in price decreases. So again, try what you can, but again, you got to have the comps, because at the end of the day, the buyer's appraiser is really the one who's going to make that decision on what that value is.
Yeah, so very, very much so.
It's a very interesting time. Still moving on. We were pulling comps earlier for a client and showing them the sold data. And in a certain area of the Metroplex, there were quite a few of them. I think of the 42, only 5 did not sell for at or just slightly above list price. So again, we're just seeing a lot of heat still in the market. And we always like to point out that the market is very specific, just like the weather. It could be shining on your side and cloudy over here. So we really have to do a deep dive in there to make sure we know what the values are.
Very much so. It is neighborhood by neighborhood. Real estate is so local sometimes, it's crazy.
It's the silliest thing because it could be the division because of a street, it could be because of a park, or it could be a school district.
You know, in some areas where there's even a minute lot size from one block to the other, I mean, it might only
Your
be
street's
10
that way.
foot, yeah, it might only be 10 foot more, you know, narrower, and the price doesn't go down by just that amount. It actually changes dramatically, so.
Your side of the street is all half acres and the other side is not. Is
They're
that
not,
correct?
they're about a third of an acre.
So it's just being able to really boil it down and figure out what makes that house and that value. And then being able to share it.
Yeah,
So,
very much so.
well, let's go ahead and talk about some real estate. I think the
Okay.
first one we're going to take a look at is going to be 6405 Norbury Drive.
This is a really, really cool home in far north Dallas.
Yep.
It is still in the city of Dallas. It is in Richardson School District, which is one of the premier school districts around the Metroplex area. Goes to Brentfield Elementary, which is a really highly rated elementary school. Wonderful location from being able to get around the Metroplex. You have Preston Road, which is actually old Highway 289 that goes all the way to Oklahoma. But you know, you've got great access over to the tollway, you've got great access down to 635, and there's just a lot of outdoor, like you can see the Preston Green Park that is right around the corner from this home.
And if you're not from DFW, if you're not from Dallas or Texas, one of the things that a lot of people are going to want to know about is commuting to airports. And this is a quick commute to DFW. You just jump on 635, wrap around. You can get on the north side if you want, quite easy. And then also getting into Love Field is quite simple, just going down 75 and then exiting Oak Lawn and getting on over. So there is a lot of ease in getting for like bigger commutes, whether it's for work or for travel. But it is a really, as Jeff said, centralized location. And as DFW continues to expand further and further north, this becomes more and more of a central point within the Metroplex.
Very much so. And we were, when we were previewing this, we were talking to the owners, and we said, so what are a couple of your favorite restaurants around the area? And they pointed out that there are two of the best French restaurants that represent the two of the cuisines of French food. Their Lavendo Bistro is just around the corner from them. And then they also have Cadeau, which is right around the corner from them.
And I'm a sucker for mussels, cannot get enough mussels, and pate. Those two things right there, I am in love with. So this is definitely going to be one of the ones that we definitely want to put on the list to get out there and take a look at.
Absolutely. There are some of the other restaurants in this neighborhood. Banana Leaf is one of my favorite Thai restaurants. It's right there on Preston Road. And if you have not had the Banana Leaf sampler platter,
You were telling us about that.
it is absolutely amazing. They also have some of the best red and green curry.
Well, I'm a fan of curry, so that is definitely on my list. And then we also love Kenny's Woodfire Grill. Kenny's Woodfire Grill over there on Beltline. This place has complimentary popovers, not chips and hot sauce, popovers. You heard it right. They also will give you the recipe. I have tried it. It doesn't come out the same.
It does not. One of the other things that is renowned at this restaurant is they are the only restaurant in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that has 32-degree Grey Goose vodka on tap.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I'm
I
gonna say a good thing.
think it's a fantastic thing.
So these are some really great attributes for this area. We point these things out because so many times people are looking for what's local, what's new, and what's something that only the local actually know. So these are
really
great
is.
ones.
Absolutely. So this is a really great home. It's got great curb appeal. It has some mature landscaping. The owners have done a really great job with the seasonal color on it. The roof on this home was replaced in 2017. It feels very, very updated as you walk in.
And so one of the reasons why we selected this house is because we feel like right now inventory can get kind of tight and people are really asking us on a daily, are there things that we could fix up? And this house has the bones, it has the light, it has a very symmetrical floor plan. that allow it to transition into what, with just a coat of paint in some instances, to what really turns into what buyers are really looking for these days.
Yeah, this is a home that you can tell has been so well cared for, and as you said, the bones are really there. Great floor plan, lots of windows, super. You know, the first thing people tell you when they're wanting to buy a house is, we want something that's light, bright, and open.
And we got it.
This house hits all three of those buttons.
It's also a floor plan that you and I had not seen before. It was a very specific builder back in the day. I think you remembered who this builder was. I did not remember who it was. But the way that they've incorporated this indoor-outdoor space, because this is one of the side yards, but opens up to the dining room and to one of the bedrooms or offices there on the side, almost is reminiscent of a mid-century modern house, because that is something that is so common. And so what it does is it really takes a full advantage of a side yard that a lot of times people throw away just for the simple fact they don't have access to it.
Yeah, and the every time you walk into a room, you have a really great viewpoint out a window. And again, these people have done such a great job maintaining this home. It feels very, very updated. Dishwasher was recently replaced. The flooring in it is all things that one could live with. You might choose to update it at some time and make it more your style, but it is move-in ready, in my opinion.
The other thing too is, like, a lot of times kitchens can get really tricky if you do a remodel. You're not sure how everything needs to lay out. This is a very simple, straightforward kitchen. The cabinets are not going to get tricky in any way and not require you to drop a wall, which could be really expensive sometimes.
And this is that bedroom that is off of the side. They've got the recliner and lamp in here that makes it look more like a living room, but it really makes a great private kind of mother-in-law suite if you need.
Absolutely, and it also has access to the outside, as we were saying. This is the front bedroom. As you can see, it has a bayed-out window. We were really surprised at the size of the beds, or the bedrooms. They were really great. And this is the Jack and Jill that connects these two bedrooms. And these are on the opposite side, but as the same side as the master.
Yeah, and this has doors that open out to that the patio courtyard area. But it's got these really great windows in the master bath also that look out over the tub.
So I really like the way that this, you don't see this very often, but it is a two-sided vanity, and the mirror right there separates the two. It's such a really great feature. I think that it could really be refitted and carry on to the next owner as well.
And here's the outside. This is that center courtyard that everything looks out upon. Really nice landscaping. Again, nothing you would have to do here. You might want to make some changes just to make it your own, but these owners have done such a great job. They've lived in this home for 34 years, I think is what they told us.
Believe you're right.
It is super, super well maintained.
Last thing to point out is it has a really private backyard. So if you're looking for putting a pool in, this is a great one to do that as well.
So 6405 Norbury Drive is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage built in 1976. It's a little over 2,500 square feet, and this was just reduced to $489,900. And we would like to say thank you to Ann Foster for letting us talk about her home today.
And I do believe there's an open house this weekend.
There is, Sunday from 2 to 4.
So if you'd like to take a look at that house in person, jog on out there 2 to 4 on Sunday. If you'd like to get a link, it'll be in the comments below. Click on that. It'll give you all the information, pictures that we didn't use. Zoom in on that map and take a look for yourself. And if you would like to see this or any home in the area, please let us know, and we'd be happy to make that
Excellent.
happen.
Yes,
Help.
we would. We would like to help to make that happen.
Help to make that happen. That's awesome.
So our next house today is in the East Dallas area, and this is the Casa Linda adjacent neighborhood, as I was just informed, which is, it is, I guess, Casa Linda adjacent.
It's adjacent. I didn't say how far adjacent it is.
It really is adjacent. The area itself is really great. There is a lot going on in this neighborhood. So 8731 Vinewood is in a really nicely tucked away neighborhood. I don't know really any other way to say it.
I love the neighborhood. They've done so much that's coming in and around this area. Buckner is such a good thoroughfare for this area that can get you all the way to Northwest Highway, and then you can also use both Ferguson and Garner to get you back into East Dallas and to downtown. It is really central to White Rock Lake, which is, one of the gems of Dallas. And so it's just got a lot to offer. It is a true neighborhood in all of the way that it feels. Lots more topography in this area, and the mature trees throughout this area really lend itself to having a really kind of established neighborhood, that is for sure.
It really does. And this sits on a creek, so you own property to the other side of the creek, not in a floodplain, well way up high enough. But this is one of those homes that, just by the nature of its location is going to be something that's very attractive to people. As Weston said, it is adjacent to the Casa Linda neighborhood, and a couple of things that are over there that you might want to take advantage of. One is White Rock Lake. This has a 9.5-mile bike hike path all the way around the lake. Some of the most beautiful vistas in the city. You can also visit the Starbucks at Casa Linda. Here's Weston breaking out for a little cup of coffee during the day. Casa Linda Shopping Center is one of those neighborhood areas that has, from grocery stores to restaurants to casual food to fine food, it has a little bit of everything in it.
And then there are also wonderful restaurants as well. We've got Torchy's Taco, which is over here, and I believe, it closed, but that great cafe was here. This is also one of the gyms around the corner, and this is the Arboretum. The Arboretum has just a little bit of something for everyone, and it's amazing how it changes with the seasons, whether it's Christmas or fall, or they bring in the tulips for the spring. It is definitely something that you want to go out and check out. One of the funny little tidbits about this area, Redondo is a street around the corner. It was my very first sale.
Sure
and
was.
I came in all proud of myself on a Monday morning to tell Jeff how I did it, and I had actually just knocked on the door with my client, John David McFerrin, and said, "Can we see your house?" And Jeff looks at me, he goes, "That's not how we do this." It's like, oh, well,
It
there's a
worked.
sign in the yard, and it means it's for sale. So Weston knocked on the door.
Anyway, great neighborhood, really cool drive up. This is one of those homes that does need to have some work done to it, but you can buy it at $397 and really have lots of room to do some really great renovation to it.
And one of the things that when buyers come to us and say, we want a house that we want to have a renovation on, it is always, let me have something that is original. And this house has had the same owner for over 40 years. And because of that, you're not having to undo someone else's updates. But what you are getting is you're getting a blank canvas. And the bones, again, of this home are amazing.
Spectacular wood floors in this. This is a knotty pine, what am I thinking of? The
Paneling.
walls. Paneling, thank you. And those are individual plank paneling. That's not the sheets like you would buy at Home Depot. This is the real stuff. I love the beams in there, and they continue that knotty pine all the way into the kitchen.
Now, what's great about this is that this has a room just on the other side of the kitchen that would actually allow you to almost double the size of the kitchen and have it work with this living room. One of the great things about this pine, if you're into one of the ones that has the wash on it and don't want to just go quite white, these can be bleached or sanded, bleached, and then lime washed, and they are amazing.
Really pretty. And this has a lot of, it's very compartmentalized, which was kind of the style of the way it was, the way homes were then. This is a step down additional room, and I suspect it was probably the original garage that had been enclosed at some point. Could very easily be incorporated into the central heat and air system in the main house.
Correct.
You've got a really great game room, living room, TV room. If you've got multiple people that work from home that work in the same office, this could be a great office for that.
And one of the other things too that we were told by the agent is this is the master bedroom. Master bedroom has access to outside, but one of the great things is that under that carpet is the original hardwood floors. And again, that is one of those extras that really helps both budgeting and keeping the continuity of the house really the same.
And this is the one of the ancillary bedrooms, and they are both really good size. They have the desks built in there, which was kind of a fancy thing to do, in the era that this was built. And here's the other bedroom, a little bit smaller in the width, but I think it's about the same size in the length with the big walk-in closet.
And right above that closet, you can see the fanciness continues with that scallop detail molding. It's amazing. This goes into the bedroom or the bathroom, and I believe this is the Jack and Jill between the two bedrooms, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Great size, great space, and here we have additional space. And I think this is why we really chose this is because there's a lot of extra space that someone could grab and convert into living space.
And this is a great laundry room. It's a great mechanical and laundry room. You keep all of that equipment in one area. You keep all of your noise secluded to one space.
Yep.
And really works very well.
And the other thing too, it's got a great opportunity to lift some of that stuff, either hot water heater outside or HVAC into the attic, and again, reclaim more space. Here we have the outside. I love the fact that the fireplace on the inside also doubles as the back for the fireplace on the outside. So this is going to be 8731 Vinewood Drive. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car carport, or a 1-car carport, and it's priced at $387. This is an amazing home, and we want to say thank you so much to Mary Beth Peterson for allowing us to feature the home.
Thank you, Mary Beth. We really do appreciate it. So if you'd like to see any information about this home, see any of the pictures we couldn't include in our video today, just click on the link below and reach out to us if you'd like to see other homes in the neighborhood. And with that, we'll be right back. There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223. Welcome back to the second segment, episode 143 of Sold with Updike Pugh. And what are we going to talk about today?
Munger Place,
No, we're not.
Swiss Avenue.
Okay, yes, we are.
Close. Swiss Avenue Historic District. And I think this is a beginning of a series that we talked about earlier where Jeff and I talked about what are conservation districts, what is a PD, historic districts, just to kind of lay the foundation work and then put together some information in this follow-up segment that is all about the Swiss Avenue. And it is a very interesting community.
It really is, and you know, it's a little misleading. I put that first slide together that said established 1972. This neighborhood was actually developed in 1905. It became a historic district in 1972.
And it was originally part of Munger. Hence, I said Munger.
Yes,
I
you
was
are
being
correct.
original.
Yes, Robert Munger was the developer of this in 1905, and of Munger Place, and he wanted to have this really great area that prominent people in Dallas could come and build their homes and have the continuity of that kind of neighborhood.
And so it became, and there were deed restrictions that were required back then. It had to be a 2-story,
Yes.
brick or masonry, no spec homes, and it had to be your
primary residence. You couldn't build it on speculation that you were going to sell it. You had to commit that you were building this for your family. And hold on, you had to spend at least $10,000 on your home.
$10,000. You had to spend $10,000. That is insane. So we can see here, this is a quick example of where it exists. This is also a really interesting little neighborhood because it has little outdoor on the street, brick outside wall that kind of lets you know where you're coming, and a little park as well.
Yeah, the little neighborhood entrances with the arches and the signage, and it's such a great little neighborhood. And it's had some really prominent Dallas families that have embraced this concept. Many of them hired really well-known architects to come in and do their houses. Bertram Hill was an architect in the neighborhood who did the Adolphus Hotel and the first Dallas City Hall.
Isn't that interesting? And Lang and Witchell also came in, and they were also the ones that did Sears and Roebuck and the Singer Building downtown, plus the Dallas High School.
DeWitt and Lemon was another architect. Roscoe DeWitt did the Highland Park United Methodist Church, and he also did Ownby Stadium, which was the original SMU stadium that was torn down and replaced by the Gerald R. Ford Stadium.
Another architect was Marion Foshee, and he did Highland Park Village. And it's really interesting because my dermatologist is Dr. Foshee, so I'm really curious if she is related to him.
W.H. Reed's also designed many of the homes, and He did the home that was created for Mary Ellen Benson, who you probably don't know her name, but she was the model for all of the statuary out at Fair Park.
I have to go check now to see if you can actually tell. I think it's a really interesting history. There's so much of it in here. And as you can see, as we're going through this little video, there is a huge setback and just amazing homes in this area.
These were the first paved streets in the city of Dallas. And tell them about the trolley line.
This is the craziest thing. I really wish this still existed. So there's a trolley line that actually ran behind in the alley, and they had their own personal trolleys. The trolley could actually connect and take them anywhere that the trolley stopped. So it would get you all the way into Dallas, or if you were well heeled and needed to go shopping, that was also available for you.
So
Can you imagine?
It is crazy. These houses, some of the most prominent people that lived there were Raleigh Baird, who was the founder of Blue Cross Blue Shield. As I mentioned, Mary Ellen Benson, Dr. John Borland, who invented the baby incubator, the machine that allows you to incubate babies after they're born.
Edwin Ralph Brown, who founded the Magnolia Petroleum Company, which was later became Mobil, also was one of the original residents.
And W.W. Caruth, which if you have lived in Dallas any length of time at all, you see the Caruth name spread all over the city. They are one of the most prominent beginning families in the Dallas history.
And as you did the research, it looked like there were lots and lots of U.S. congressmen, Texas state governors that were also original residents, and 2 mayors as well. And the Neiman Marcus family has a lot of tradition on Swiss Avenue.
They really do, both the Neiman and the Marcus family, both.
There's 3 of them that were out there.
Yes.
Which is, it's just amazing to me. Also, one of the co-organizers for the state fair was one of the originals. So this seemed to be like kind of like a powerhouse of who's who and how Dallas began and founded itself, lived in this area. And I wonder if the trolley was just like one of those mind-bending things. They're like, we can get to downtown, we've got the trolley. Because if you think about it, I don't know if there was another trolley in Dallas at that time.
I don't think there was. I think this one just ran from there to down, or from the East Dallas neighborhood toward downtown.
I'm curious if it was public, or if they had any public trolley, or if it was only private.
So what they were allowed to do was have their own trolley cars. And so that their trolley car could connect to the public trolley, and they'd be transported in their own private carriage or their own private car.
Look at that. You know what? That's automatic driving before automatic driving was around.
Really?
What has happened to us? How much further could we be if we still had this?
Very true.
It's amazing. The other thing, too, is there's a lot of, I believe it's a spring parade of homes that Swiss Avenue has. It's a really great time for you to be able to go through these houses and really see how big they are on the inside. I think from the outside, you can't quite gather how large those rooms can get. It's interesting.
It really is. And the homes don't look as big from the street as they are once you get inside, because many, with them all being at least 2 stories, they sometimes can feel like they kind of go on and go on and go on.
Well, one of the things that I thought was very interesting when we were previewing one of these homes one time, there was a small basement, and I remember going into the basement, and there was a sump pump, and there was a little cutout, and there was a little water, and they were just pumping the water out. And I thought, where's the water table? How is that possible that this is happening here? So it's a very interesting, tons of history. If you get the opportunity to do the Parade of Homes, it is well worth your time. Absolutely.
And Swiss Avenue Historic District is worth driving over and just spending, you can get through the entire neighborhood in probably less than half an hour.
And I would say if you are an avid jogger, or you need a place to go walk the dog, and you're on that eternal look for where to go, this is a really great lap to take, and just be able to take it in. It's so amazing, and it's a step back into original Dallas architecture.
So if you'd like to learn more about the Swiss Avenue Historic District, certainly reach out to us. We'll be happy to provide you with all the references that we use to gather our information today. If there are other neighborhoods, historic districts, conservation districts, neighborhood overlays that you'd like us to talk about, reach out to us and let us know.
You bet. And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.